I think I was about 10 or 11 when I thought I might be gay, like for definite. I was more attracted to girls than I was to boys. I think I've always been a tomboy, like dressed quite chavvy, tracksuits, hoodies, that sort of thing. But at the time there was quite a few people accusing me, and I didn't want to say, yeah, I am, get over it kind of thing. I just, kept it inside me. I felt physically scared to come out, even to my friends, anyone really. It felt like every night I'd kind of just go home and cry a lot because I didn't know who to tell, if they'd hate me or not, and yeah, it just basically ruined my life at that time. My mum was asking lots of questions, like, why are you crying, obviously, what's wrong? And tell me, I'll understand. I was like, no, you really won't. And because at that time I was still like quite young, and to me, I thought that it was a bad thing to be different from everyone else. It just got to the point where I couldn't keep it in any longer. I literally just felt like I wanted to scream it, basically. And I had a really big thing for one of my mates that I'd known for like 4 years, and she was moving to Australia. I was shaking, crying. I didn't know what to do, basically. I was stuttering, the words just like wouldn't come out of my mouth. I said, I said, basically, I think I like girls. I think I might be gay. And yeah, I really like you, basically. And she turned around to me and said, well, you need to get over it because it's never going to happen. Leave me alone. I felt like I'd released it, obviously. I mean, it'd be eating away at me for God knows how many years, and it was all out in the open, but only to her. So I felt kind of a bit wary. Who's she going to tell? Is it going to get spread? Funnily enough, she didn't. She kind of kept it to herself. So I had another job of telling the rest of them as well as her, but it wasn't as bad because obviously I liked her and the rest of them were just really good mates. So she did move to Australia. She moved for 6 months, I think, and she's back now, and well, we're really good mates still, and yeah, she completely understands. After most people knew, especially my family, it just felt like the weight had been lifted, basically. All this pressure had been building up, and I just let it out and got rid of it, and yeah, it felt great.
Of course, I knew deep down, all along, but I was just never ever, because it would literally be a little voice inside my head saying, oh, come on, who are you kidding yourself? And then it'd be like, no, I'm not. No, I'm really, really not. Seriously, look at her. She's hot, yeah. Then when it came to secondary school, it was just a constant question of every single day, like, are you gay? Are you gay though? And I was like, no, of course I'm not. Until I turned to my friend Sarah, and I was like, I really need to talk to you. She was like, what? And then I came out with it. I was just like, I really think I'm bisexual. Because I just thought, you don't think gay because it's just like, oh no, I can't say that. If I just say I'm a bit, then it'll be fine, and then I can work my way into it. She was like, no, you're not. I was like, yeah, I am. She was like, who are we kidding, Alex? We've all known for ages you're gay. And then I was just like, what? And it was like everyone knew apart from me all that time. It was good. It felt like I just vomited up this horrible secret that had stayed there forever, but in a good way, like a banging headache, and once you throw up, then it's gone. And you're like, ah, ha, ha. And then that sort of built up a confidence, because I was like, yeah, no one cares, hey. Until the upper year found out. There was one time they went out of their way to nick a salmon from food tech just to throw it at me in the middle of a corridor. But no, it was really, really bad. And one time I ran into the boys' toilets in hope of finding an escape, but no, just get pelted with bits of wet tissue over the doors, and then they'd leave, and then I'd look around the cubicle, Alex has bummed this guy, Alex has bummed this person, and just graffiti all around, and it's just everywhere. As soon as the year 11s left, it became a lot easier because my year, they were fine with me, really, because they did eventually get used to the idea because they were like, finally realised that it was like, I do not find any of you attractive.
I just started secondary school. When everyone around you is like, oh, girlfriends and everything, it never really interested me. And then you've kind of got all the older guys that are coming in from football and everything, and it's like, oh, hello. They're quite interesting. In our society, everything has to be heterosexual. You're taught heterosexual sex education, and like your parents, you always have this idea that your parents are assuming you're going to be that way and give them lots of grandkids, and it can be quite scary, the fact that you've then got to work out, okay, I'm not going to do this and I'm going to be different from everyone else. I told my close friend, I was like scared shitless really. It was just like, oh my god, how can I do this? And it was quite scary because you don't know how they're going to react. And as human nature is, you instantly think that they're going to react horribly and kind of go, no, go away, leave me alone, freak. But none of my friends were really like that, so I was quite lucky. And it was quite nerve-wracking, but it was such a good feeling once I told them and they did accept me, and it just proved to me that I was a normal person and that people can still like you. I told my mum when I was about 15, and I had just been quite recently depressed and almost suicidal. My mother kept shouting at me like, why don't you tell me what's wrong, why can't you talk to me and everything, because up until like recently at that time we had been quite close, and because I'd always thought I could tell her everything, but this was the one thing I'd felt that I could never tell her. I literally thought she was probably going to throw me out and disown me, which is probably the biggest fear of every homosexual. But she took it rather well. She kind of cried a bit because she was finally relieved that... It's more of happiness tears than upset. She was relieved that I'd finally told her. When she actually accepted me, I was quite shocked, and eventually, when I came out of the shock, I was quite relieved and happy the fact that I could be a normal person now, even at home. Family, it's a strange experience because everyone is different, unfortunately, and not every people's parents are accepting. But if you have the support of your friends and people behind you, you always can do it, and it often comes out better than you think.